All right, let's go ahead and talk about the repechage rounds, which will be introduced in Paris. So what does this all mean? We've all done a deep dive into this, and I'm pulling all of this information from World Athletics, from the Olympics website itself. So there will be a repechage rounds, which will be introduced this Paris Olympics. It's new. This was announced by World Athletics July 25th of 2022, so it's been out there. So from the Olympics website, these rounds will be for all individual track events from the 200 meters all the way through the 1500, and it also includes the hurdles. In each first round, of course, we're used to seeing that certain number of athletes who will get the guarantee to progress to the semifinal rounds, indicating the big Q. So the top, for example, the top 3 finishers in each heat, regardless of their finishing times, we all know them as the automatic big Q that you see on the screen. So athletes who don't hit the automatically qualifying positions, also known as the big Q, in the first round will have a chance to qualify to the semifinal rounds by participating in these repechage heats. And to be noted, the 100 meters does have these prelim rounds. We typically see them like before the start of like the major first rounds. So they will have that. So the repechage round will not be introduced for this. So there won't be any rounds for the 3K because they're giving the athletes time to recover in between rounds. So what does this actually mean? There'll be a round one, repechage, which would be the second, semifinals and finals. And the Olympic website said the positives from this is every athlete who is competing will definitely have a chance to, including the repechage rounds, will be able to run 2 races at the Olympic Games. So with all of that information now that we've just taken in, how do we feel about it now that it's about to be implemented into these games?
I mean, it's different, right? Like, I think you mentioned World Athletics or whatever, trying to hint at the positive, right? Everyone gets to race twice at the Olympics. Yep. Cool. It's not, say you have a terrible race that first time, you have a second chance to go out there and run. And I think that's pretty cool. However, I also think like it almost puts, which is kind of you could say a good thing. It does put some more pressure on that first round, right? Like there's more stakes involved. Like you have to get those auto cues or else you're going to have to go out there and run again. And I'm sure some of those athletes, if you're a top athlete, you don't necessarily want to have to run again to get to a semifinal. So I think that does add a little bit more stakes involved. And I think that's kind of a good thing because sometimes the first rounds, you just see the typical athletes go through, get their cues and continue on. So that may add a little bit of an element to that.
Yeah, I agree. Corey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And rather than like in terms of the visual component of it, where you have the athlete always waiting and sort of the callbacks to see if they've gotten the fastest time or not. Now you actually put them back on the track and you give them the opportunity. We've seen in previous cases where some of our best performers in the world don't qualify through. Shericka Jackson, who I'll probably talk about a little later, did not qualify in 2021 in the 200 because she eased up at the line. Daniel Roberts, we talked to him about falling before, right, in the first round in a hurdle race. So it's for cases like this where you give people extra opportunities to maybe, reinsert themselves when they should have been there. So I think that there's a whole strategic play, I think, on the way you race the second one compared to the one you raced the first time. So, but I like it. This already exists in tennis, by the way, right, in big major tournaments.
Yep.
Where if, you have somebody that's out and there's withdrawal going in the next round, they'll have that lucky loser phrase back into the draw. So I think it's a good format change. I think it'll bring some new, some good audience.
Yeah. I have like mixed emotions. I love hearing both of your perspectives. I love your perspective of like Daniel Roberts falling, like here's another opportunity. Like it's not like the end of the world. I can just get up, try it again. But at the same time, if I'm someone that's like trying to cruise and I know the heat might be fast and if I'm able to be close enough to get my automatic cue, like I'm just thinking about the 400. There's no way your girl's running. Like I don't want to run like 4 rounds of the 400 meters, so I feel like I think I just have to see how this plays out. Like I just got to see how this Olympics goes.
If you're that athlete, you're saying you don't want to run 4 rounds, so then you better get your time.
Yeah,
better run well in that
now,
first round. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think that's a good thing
pressure.
because I don't know. Like sometimes the first rounds are boring. You see everyone coasting and stuff like that. Like this adds another element.
He's like, just bring it on. Bring it on. All right. So again, this will be implemented. So first round, repechage round, semifinals, and then finals.